Hi, fellow traders. Hope everybody had a great day today. Pretty pathetic Monday for me day trading, that's for sure. Just didn't really have anything to give me a move. Um, but swing trading and all that kind of made today palatable, I guess is the best way to put it. Um, but what I want you guys to understand to hear from me today, struggles never go away until they have taught us what we need to know. If we keep struggling, that's because we haven't learned our lessons yet. And we're probably doing the same damn thing over and over and over again, expecting to get different results. And we all know that's the definition of insanity. So if you're doing that, then it's time to check yourself in, because there's a screw loose somewhere. We learn from our mistakes. Now that's not to say we're not going to make the same mistake again down the road, because that happens. But if we learn from it and we learn how to deal with it when we do make a mistake, those struggles tend to get easier and easier, and they tend to go away. But it's very, very important that we take time to learn from our mistakes, learn from the struggles that we have, so that we can eliminate them and we don't have to keep revisiting them over and over and over again. Now, I did the how to day trade with $1,000 webinar yesterday, and the video is up. It's on YouTube, and it's not one of those feel good videos. It tells you cold hard facts, and I try to use numbers to show you just what it's about. And one of the things, some of the feedback I got, where some of the misconception was, I don't expect you to stay making $100 a day or whatever. That's a starting point. That's where if we can't make that every day, then it's going to be very tough to make $200 a day or $500 a day or even $1,000 a day. And I shared with you guys in the video, Kanal's doing his 4-day free intro to trading webinar, and I told you he's real good. He's a guy that I learned from, because we had similar trading styles. I mean, he's got like 1,000 times more energy than I have. But I connected with him the first time I saw his video. His webinar. So that's why I shared that with you. And this guy went till like 10:30 last night, past 10:30, and it started at 8. So like I said, he's crazy. But he always said one thing. Said the easiest thing in trading is to go from $100 a day to $1,000 a day. The hardest thing to do in trading is to make one damn dollar a day. And that's the truth. How hard is it? How many of you have been trying and trying and trying, and you cannot average over a course of a month $1 a day? At the end of the month, you're red. You may have some green days in there where you made a couple $100 here or there, but overall, you're red. And it's all about building that consistency, and that's what my whole purpose in this community is to help you build consistency, so that you can start making some green day, average green days a week, and average green days a month, and you scale up from there. Everything is scalable. So, if you're interested and you want to know, or somebody that's starting with very little money, let them check out that video, and so they can see the numbers behind what I'm what I was sharing. All right, so today, now, Tesla, I was looking at this as a all-day hold, but I know how Tesla trades. It, when it's every time I've had an all-day hold on Tesla, the thing would sell off at the open, hit my target, and then bounce back and stop me out. That's pretty much what this did today. But this was one of those, I didn't know I was in this trade moments. Because, I posted in chat, when I got back from the gym, I posted it. I was looking at this, and it had to lose this 300, level here in order for this to work. And I honestly thought we were going to lose this. So I tried to get in at like 300. I put an order out for 300 like 5 times, and it never would go through. And it was crazy. Now you can't do I like to do market orders. You can't do that pre-market. So I always use a limit order and route it through ARCA, because I usually never have an issue with it. So, I routed it through ARCA, put it through, 3, 4, 5 times, it wouldn't go. So I just like, oh shit, the hell with it. I'm just gonna not worry about it, because I got some things to do before I sit down here and really start getting into this. And this is on a different platform. A different computer. I used to try to run, all of my platforms on one computer so I could bring them up and show you as I do things. But as you guys can remember, I had issues almost every day with these platforms. So I realized trying to run DOS from IB, the Speed Trader Pro, which is DOS, Sure Trader, which is DOS, and then TD Ameritrade, which is what I use for my main charting. Running all of those on one computer just didn't work out. So, I've got a second laptop with 2 monitors and all of that over here, where I run my other the other 2 DOS accounts. So it's not in my face. So when I just cut the screen off or flipped it to the emails I was looking at, I didn't even think twice about it. And we were looking at it. And so, let's see, where's the 5-minute chart? So, as we were coming into the open and this thing started selling off, here we bounced and we started to sell off. I'm like, I'm flipping over because I'm going to try to get in right under 300 again, because it's starting to set up. And I flip over to it, and damn if I'm already in making money. And so that was it shocked me, but it was a pleasant surprise. But evidently, the order was just pending. I didn't know it, and it did hit, and I was able to cover some here through 296 like I wanted to at 295. 296 was the target, and was able to hit some there. Well, this was all the same order, just split it up. And then, of course, it bounces back and stops me out for the rest at 300, which is kind of where my entry was. I don't know how it failed at 301. I had an order in for 300, but somehow I never did 301. This is not something that I would ever do. So I don't even know how it failed at 301, but it did, and it worked out. So and you can see this is the 5-minute chart on it. We put in this high here after we had this big sell-off. Here was the bounce, and when it couldn't come back over and we lost this, I felt pretty confident about it. I was like, I'm gonna wait for a bounce, And it didn't look like we were going to get a bounce. It just looked like we were just going to sell off. It was going to be weak. So that's why I was looking under 300. That was going to be my deal. But this worked out okay. But it in pure Tesla fashion, it hit that first target, sell off at the open, and then it just grinded its way back up and stopped me out. And, I got asked the question, well, why didn't you get out up here? I'm not watching this anymore. This is an all-day hold is like a swing trade to me. It's just that I'm holding it all day. I set the targets and I forget about it. I don't even think about it anymore unless an alert hits my phone telling me that I'm getting close to my stop price or my profit target. Other than that, I don't really care. And I'm just going to let it work to see if we can get it to work all day. And like I said, this strategy was the bridge to me swing trading. But that's all we got with Tesla. Let me see, what was it? How much did we get from it? I guess after commissions, probably just under 600. But not bad for just catching half the move. Not bad at all. I'll take these all day. So Facebook. Now we know Facebook has got earnings coming up on Wednesday. I've been in this for a couple of weeks. You guys saw me take some profit on it last week. And today I had my order in at 215. And, it struggled all day. It just could not get there. It just struggled. You see how far it pulled back. And it just struggled. And then after market, let me see, do I have a 5-minute chart? Yeah. And after market, look at what happened after market. Here's where we struggled all day. And then after the market closed, some news came out. I thought this was on Google earnings. I thought that's what spiked this, but evidently some other news came out. And I'm watching this and I'm like, if this thing hits 214, I'm just going to take half the rest of this position off. And I'll leave the rest on tomorrow to see what it's going to do. Because no matter what, I'm going to close out tomorrow. I'm not going to hold through earnings. I'm not that bold, and I'm not a big guy. I'm still a small fry in this ocean. So, I'm still Nemo in the ocean. So this is where I got it. It hit 214. I got it up here, and it actually got all the way up to 214.70 something. I mean, this was a pretty good run. Pretty good run for this thing. And this was like, let's see, 7:30 going on 8 o'clock. So it's pretty, it was pretty cool. So everything just kind of woke up after the market closed. So the two people that were still active in the room at the time, got some excitement. But, by then everybody's pretty much gone. All right. So, we took in, 1370 something last week. Today we snagged a pretty good penny here. So overall, with the all-day hold and the cover on Facebook, you're talking about 20, 55, 15. So I mean, this was an awesome Monday. Thanks to the swing trade. Tesla, that was just okay. We never did hit our stride on it, but this was awesome. And we still got some, still got a pretty penny left. So I've got 150 shares left. We'll see what it does tomorrow. Hopefully it'll just run up tomorrow into earnings, and I can take it off, near the highs tomorrow, and we'll just sit back and wait and see what happens. But this was a really nice swing trade. Started all back here. Initially it hit our scan for 20 EMA crossover, and then it became a 52-week high trade, and it's worked out awesome. So day trading was not very not a whole lot of fun today. I just couldn't get going here. Yeah, I probably should have taken this on this rejection up here, because here's the opening candle and here's a 5-minute opening range low here. Whenever you get a candle with a wick longer than the body, that's when you typically trade off of the body. And I just kind of didn't do that today. I just waited because I thought this was gonna fool around for a little bit, and eventually I felt comfortable getting in, and obviously it moved down a little bit. Then we got to bounce back to VWAP and ended up selling off some more, but never could get to where I wanted it to get to. And I was looking for at least 41 on this for this trade to make sense, but it didn't. But as long as we were riding the 9 down, I was going to give it room. And once we breached the 9 here pretty good, that was my stop. And, it stopped us just a little bit of profit, because all I wanted to do, once this thing started working, it made no sense to let this go back and run past my entry and stop me out. It made me lose $50. This was already working. It was a trade that was working. So if it failed, I wasn't going to let it go back and me not have enough to at least cover commissions. So that's pretty much where that stop came from. And it was smart stop, because why would you hold on to it when what you were basing this trade off of after it started working kind of broke? So we took it off there, and then at lunch, I was already at lunch, and I saw this failing to push over to 20, and I thought, you know what, I'll get in it, and as long as we don't break over this 20, I'll be fine with this. Hold on to it. And out of lunch, I was looking for this to sell off and go and take out lower day. But it just didn't do it. It didn't have what it took. This is a high float stock. It's like 800 some million share float. So you're going to have, it's going to move this slow, once the volatility is gone out of it early. And it proved to trade just like a 800 million share float stock. Didn't really do much, and eventually I just had to take it off right before close. But really nothing. I mean, look, $23. I mean, yeah, green is green, but it's a win because of we managed it correctly. We didn't make any stupid mistakes, but the trade still goes down as a loss because we never hit our target, and it made our risk look pretty stupid here. Risking $50 and only lock in enough for just enough for commissions pretty much. But it's better than being red. It's better than just having a really bad day. But this was a good day to try to learn and develop your patience and be able to read the price action. Screen time is what you're going to need to build up. You're going to need to build up screen time. And like I said, you can't pay anybody for it. You can't give people thousands of dollars for their course and expect to, by some miracle, be able to read price action. You have to put in the screen time. Believe me, if I could sell it, I'd sell it to you. But, because it would be a big selling ticket. And then I would go in business of selling screen time if I could sell it. Because that's just how important screen time is. And you're not going to be successful unless you put it in. It's easy to learn these strategies. The 5-minute opening range, it doesn't even have to be 5 minutes. It could be 15 minutes. Just the opening range breakout or breakdown is a solid strategy. You could trade it all year. You just have to adapt it to the market. The continuation trades, you can trade them all year. You just have to adapt it to the market. Reversals the same way. The flag patterns that just happen to show up. When we see stocks pull back or make a move, there's a lot of things that we do that can keep you busy all year. But you got to start with one. You got to pick a spot and start. Start with one strategy, learn it inside and out, forward and backwards. And then once you get that down, move to another strategy. And as you gain experience, you're going to know what strategies work for you in what market. You'll know what stocks work for you for what strategy. All of that stuff gets learned through experience, through screen time, not through me telling you, not through somebody else telling you, not through reading a book. It's all about screen time. So you got to come in, you got to watch this. I try to explain everything that I'm looking at. If there's nothing to say or nothing to talk about, I'm not going to talk just to be talking, because that's just noise. But if there's something that you really need to see and you really need to pay attention to, that's where we come on and we really start getting into things, outside of the trades that we take. So we've got to be, we've got to be persistent and get the screen time in. We have to. I know I sound like a broken record, but there's just no substitute for it. All right, guys, so we will get back at it first thing in the morning. Earnings is kicking off. I'm disappointed with the volume in the earnings trades right now. There's volume in stocks that have everything but earnings. Like this morning, it was just frustrating. HAS and HAL didn't hit until late in pre-market. But before that, you had all of these garbage stocks hitting. With these buyouts and offerings where these stocks just don't move. All right, but that's enough. Let me get off my soapbox. And I will see you guys first thing in the morning.